red dust swirls like smoke from an old tale of the wild heart of Africa. The lions here resemble the legendary pair from 1898, strikingly bare, untamed, and full of primal presence. Unlike the bustling Masai Mara or Serengeti, this place holds on to its untouched, genuine essence within the cradle of nature. Tsavo National Park, a wild paradise split in two, east and west. But even that can't slow the stride of the African elephants, their bodies dusted in red earth like legendary war elephants stepping out of myth. Before you venture into this untamed red land, let us know where you're from in the comments below. Great to have you with us. Now, let's explore. On the dark cliffs of Tsavo West, a leopard stands still in the searing red sunset, its eyes scanning the scorched savanna below. At the foot of the mountain on cracked, brittle ground, a maneless Tsavo lion crouches by the edge of a burned thicket, ears alert to every sound from the antelope herd. Farther out on the plains, a Southeast African cheetah sprints in quiet desperation, chasing the fading shadow of a tiny Thompson's gazelle. As the last light fades, hyenas appear, silent sentinels following the scent of opportunity. Temperatures in Tsavo have risen by nearly 1.5 degrees Celsius over the past 50 years. Rainy seasons have become unpredictable, and prolonged droughts leave the grasslands no time to recover after wildfires. At the rare oasis of Mzima Springs, a Nile crocodile lies motionless. No antelope linger nearby, only hippopotamuses trample the thinning grass underfoot. Nature does not scream, it simply withers in silence. And in that silence, the fragile struggle between predator and prey becomes breathlessly thin. Located in southeastern Kenya, Tsavo National Park spans an area of around 22,000 square kilometers, a land vast enough to swallow the entire state of New Jersey. Covering nearly 4% of Kenya's total area, it stands as one of the largest and most biodiverse nature reserves in all of Africa. The park is distinctly divided into two parts, Tsavo East and Tsavo West, separated by the railway line and Highway A109 that connect Nairobi to Mombasa. To the east, the Yatta Plateau, the longest lava flow in the world, stretches nearly 300 kilometers, born from the volcanic activity of Oldoinyo Sabuk. To the west, the jet-black Shetani lava flow coils like a sleeping dragon. Formed just about 200 years ago, a mere blink in geological time, it has sculpted a barren landscape where only the toughest shrubs manage to stand out against the cold, unyielding rock. Beneath the cracked, sun-baked red earth, underground water flows quietly, yet persistently. Mzima Springs releases about 250 million liters of water each day, sustaining patches of lush green grass. Not far from there, lies Lugard Falls, where the Galana River bursts through granite outcrops, forming a series of thundering cascades, like an ancient whisper from a wilderness that has never truly known peace. Tsavo was once home to indigenous communities such as the Orma, Yatta, and Maasai. Archaeological evidence shows that this region has been inhabited since the late Stone Age. These communities lived in harmony with nature, relying on hunting, herding, and gathering to sustain themselves. Tsavo is also a crossroads of diverse beliefs and spiritual practices. Indigenous communities such as the Maasai and Orma hold rituals and religious traditions deeply rooted in nature, viewing natural elements like mountains, rivers, and animals as sacred. The climate in Tsavo plays a key role in shaping life here. Each year, temperatures range from 20 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius, with two distinct dry seasons, from June to October and from January to February. During these periods, water evaporates faster than rainfall can replenish it, leaving the ground cracked, vegetation parched, and vast stretches of land cloaked in swirling red dust. It is in these harsh conditions that the creatures of Tsavo must adapt, day by day, hour by hour, just to hold on. The biodiversity here is truly remarkable. Tsavo is home to over 500 species of birds, hundreds of reptile and amphibian species, and around 70 species of mammals, including the complete Big Five: elephant, lion, leopard, buffalo, and black rhinoceros. According to the 2024 Wildlife Census, Tsavo is currently home to approximately 14,984 elephants, accounting for 38% of Kenya's total elephant population. About 325 kilometers southeast of the capital city, Nairobi, Tsavo East National Park emerges like a vivid geographic and biological tapestry on the edge of the East African semi-desert. Covering an area of up to 13,747 square kilometers, it stretches endlessly across scorched plains, sparse stretches of shrubland, and seasonal riverbeds. The climate in Tsavo East is distinctly semi-arid. Annual rainfall averages only about 1,037 millimeters, which is not enough to retain long-term soil moisture. Daytime temperatures typically range from 28 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius, accelerating evaporation and limiting the vegetation's ability to regenerate after each dry spell. The ground is covered in a signature layer of red soil, rich in iron oxide, which not only shapes the park's visual landscape, but also directly influences the soil's chemistry and the plant life that depends on it. Stretching along the western edge of Tsavo East National Park, the Yatta Plateau runs for about 290 kilometers from the Ol-Doinyo Sabuk region to the southern part of the park, flowing parallel to the Athi and Galana rivers. It is the longest lava flow in the world, formed millions of years ago when basalt lava from the Ol-Doinyo Sabuk volcano erupted and followed the course of an ancient riverbed. As the lava cooled, it solidified into a vast basalt plateau, rising about 150 meters above the surrounding plains. Despite its arid surface, the Yatta Plateau plays an important ecological role as a natural migration corridor for large mammals, helping them move seasonally between areas with water and food sources. The vegetation on the plateau is mostly made up of thorny shrubs and open woodland, offering shade and ideal shelter for creatures that thrive in seclusion. Amid the dry heat and the iron oxide-rich red earth, the Somali ostrich quietly endures both time and climate. This land is not an easy place to live. Yet it is in this very harshness that each step of the Somali ostrich becomes a testament to nature's art of survival. Unlike the common ostrich, the Somali ostrich lacks a white ring around its neck and stands out with its striking blue neck and thighs, a hue that becomes even more vivid in males during breeding season. That shimmering lapis-colored skin not only draws the attention of potential mates, but also reflects a remarkable adaptation to the intense sunlight of this semi-desert region. The male's white tail feathers are another clear distinguishing feature, replacing the black and white blend seen in other subspecies. The Somali ostrich is slightly larger than an average adult human, standing about 2.1 to 2.4 meters tall and weighing between 90 and 115 kilograms. They are not hunters, nor can they fly, but their powerful legs allow them to run at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, a natural reflex in the face of lurking threats. On the Yatta Plateau, the flat, sparsely vegetated terrain helps Somali ostriches spot predators from a distance. Yet those scattered shrubs become effective hideaways when it's time to retreat or rest. The Somali ostrich is a classic browser. Its diet includes leaves, roots, wildflowers, seeds, and even succulent plants, a precious source of moisture in times of scarcity. It also won't pass up the chance to feed on insects or small animals, especially during the dry season when vegetation becomes sparse and tough. On the Yatta Plateau, Somali ostriches are often seen moving in pairs or alone, especially during breeding season or when food becomes scarce. They tend to retreat toward areas near the Galana River, as the plateau's vegetation withers at the end of the dry season. This migration is not large-scale like that of some hoofed animals, but rather short, cyclical, and flexible movements, guided by subtle shifts in microclimate and moisture levels. Also gifted with long legs and a knack for stealth, the lesser kudu embodies an admirable journey of survival, where each white stripe on its reddish-brown coat seems to breathe with the shadows. They are among the most elusive antelope species in all of Africa. The lesser kudu has a distinctive coat, marked with 11 to 14 white vertical stripes along its sides, perfect camouflage amid dense thickets. Another easily recognizable feature is its large, rounded ears, always perked up like sensitive antennas, picking up even the faintest sounds. They can detect the slightest movement or noise from a predator. The lesser kudu is not a herd-dwelling species. Males tend to live alone or in small groups of no more than 3 individuals. Females, on the other hand, usually stay with 1 or 2 others, along with their young. This behavior helps them remain unnoticed in dense environments, but it also limits their ability to detect threats through collective awareness. When startled or spotted, a lesser kudu can leap up to 9 meters in length and over 2 meters high, vanishing into the shadows in the blink of an eye. They are primarily browsers, feeding on leaves, tender shoots, fallen fruits, and herbs during the rainy season. Living in arid environments, lesser kudus rarely drink water directly. Most of their water intake comes from the food they consume, allowing them to survive for weeks without accessing surface water sources. During the day, when temperatures on the Yatta Plateau can climb above 32 degrees Celsius, the lesser kudu seeks refuge beneath tree canopies or within thorny thickets. In extended dry months, some individuals make small movements toward riverine valleys like the Galana, where vegetation is more abundant, but they never exhibit large-scale migratory behavior. Unlike many highly territorial wild animals, the lesser kudu does not defend territory. Conflicts between males are rare and usually occur only during the breeding season or when living space becomes critically limited. They avoid confrontation, favoring calm to conserve energy and minimize risk. But on the Yatta Plateau, the true risks to the lesser kudu come from fierce predators. Where herds of lesser kudu weave through thorny thickets to escape the harsh sun, the Tsavo lion emerges silently, an ancient symbol of authority and raw survival instinct. Unlike any other lion population in Africa, they possess traits that are both unusual and perfectly suited to the harsh semi-desert environment of Tsavo East National Park. The latest 2024 data shows that lion density in Tsavo is relatively low, hovering around 450 individuals, about 1.8 lions per 100 square kilometers, reflecting a decline compared to previous decades. The appearance of adult males often leads people to mistake them for younger lions. The absence of a mane, an iconic trait in most other lion populations, symbolizing both masculinity and strength, is actually a defining feature of the lion of Tsavo. When a mane is present, it's usually just a few sparse tufts around the neck, nothing like the thick, shaggy displays seen in places like the Serengeti or Masai Mara. Several scientific theories have emerged, with temperatures frequently reaching 33 degrees Celsius and staying high for much of the year. A full mane could become a burden, hindering heat regulation. Tied to the chilling story of 1898, two maneless male lions in Tsavo, the Ghost and the Darkness, struck terror into the hearts of dozens of workers building the Uganda Railway. Bone analysis at the Field Museum in Chicago confirmed the legend, while research by Dr. Bruce D. Patterson revealed that the lion's extreme behavior toward humans stemmed from a prey crisis caused by disease outbreaks and famine. Presented in The Lions of Tsavo, this case remains a classic example of how lions can adopt extreme behaviors when their ecosystem is disrupted. Lacking the regal appearance of a full flowing mane, they make up for it with agility, near-silent movement, and a combat prowess that's virtually unmatched in the region. This trait helps explain why lion groups in Tsavo are often small, sometimes led by just a single dominant male. A typical pride rarely exceeds 6 individuals, and male coalitions, common in areas with more abundant food, are seldom seen here. A lion of Tsavo, with solid, powerful muscles, moves alone and silently, without a roar. Only its slow, steady breath and a locked gaze fixed on a young prey that strayed slightly from the herd. It creeps low to the ground, with only its ears visible above the grass. Just a few meters from its target, it halts, body pressed flat against the earth, nearly vanishing into the withered grass and scattered stones. Suddenly, it springs up like a coiled spring, surging forward at over 50 kilometers per hour in the first few seconds. The panicked prey bolts, but it's already too late. The Tsavo lion eats in silence, eyes constantly shifting. This is not just a hunting ground, but a fiercely contested territory. Beneath the dry, open skies of the Yatta Plateau, another iconic scavenger makes its presence known. This is the Egyptian vulture. Though smaller than other vulture species, this scavenger carries with it a remarkably complex migratory journey, bridging the continents of Asia and Europe with Africa. Most Egyptian vultures found in East Africa are wintering individuals that migrate from Europe and Central Asia. According to several reports, these birds have been recorded traveling from Eastern Europe to Africa, passing through Turkey, Egypt, and Sudan. These journeys can stretch from 5,000 to 6,500 kilometers. They fly primarily by soaring on thermal air currents, hardly flapping their wings at all, to conserve energy over such long distances. This is one of the most striking examples of how perfectly adapted this key scavenger species is to the natural rhythms of the continent. Despite their long-range flight abilities and strong adaptability, Egyptian vulture populations are continuing to decline at an alarming rate. According to the latest assessment by the International Union for Conservation of Nature in early 2025, the species remains listed as endangered, with the global adult population estimated at only around 12,000 to 15,000 individuals. In Kenya, recent surveys indicate that most of the observed individuals are migratory birds. With a wingspan of about 1.5 to 1.8 meters, the Egyptian vulture is easily recognized by its creamy white plumage, which contrasts sharply with its black flight feathers in the air. Its wrinkled yellow facial skin not only helps keep it clean while feeding on carcasses, but also marks it clearly as a species specialized in scavenging. With a wedge-shaped tail, long slender wings, and an effortless flying style, it moves like a master traveler, covering thousands of kilometers each year with barely any energy spent. When it comes to feeding behavior, the Egyptian vulture is a textbook example of opportunism. It often does not approach a carcass first, instead waiting for larger scavengers to tear open the thick outer hide, then swooping in to pick through the remains. What truly sets it apart, however, is its use of tools, an extremely rare trait in the bird world. Observations in Tsavo during 2023 and 2024 recorded multiple individuals using small, rounded or oval-shaped stones to crack open the eggs of ostriches and guinea fowl, then feeding on the nutrient-rich yolk inside. This behavior isn't innate to every individual, but is learned through observation, a form of social learning that highlights the species' remarkable intelligence. Moving southeast within Tsavo East National Park, the Dika Plain lies near the edge of denser forest zones, a vast, arid and open savanna where exposed basalt soil weaves through patches of low, thorny shrubs. This is one of the best areas for wildlife viewing, thanks to its open landscape and minimal tree cover obstructing the view. Ecologically, Dika Plain serves as a natural migration corridor for large animals, with vegetation dominated by thorny bushes and scattered trees that offer shade and shelter for species adapted to dry conditions. One of the standout species here is the gerenuk, also known as the giraffe gazelle. Its unique body shape is the key to unlocking a hidden layer of nutrition nestled in the mid-level tree canopy. With a slender neck extending an additional 30 to 40 centimeters, the gerenuk is the only antelope in its group able to feed at heights typically reached only by giraffes or a few species of lemurs. The ability of the gerenuk to stand on its hind legs to feed is one of the most remarkable features among terrestrial mammals in Africa. While other species stop at shoulder height, the gerenuk simply straightens its body upright, lightly bracing its forelegs against the shrub stem to reach budding leaves and flower buds growing as high as 2 meters. The structure of the gerenuk's snout adds yet another chapter to its remarkable story of evolution. Its narrow muzzle, paired with a flexible upper lip and a long, dexterous tongue, allows it to gently pluck individual leaves from thorny branches without tearing the delicate lining of its mouth. Gerenuks do not gather in large herds. Adult males typically live alone, marking territory with glandular secretions and urine to establish boundaries during the breeding season. Groups usually consist of 2 to 6 individuals, primarily females with their young. During the nurturing period, mothers are exceptionally attentive. They clean their newborns immediately after birth, hide them in dense shrubs for the first few weeks of life, and return multiple times a day to nurse. As a small but resilient symbol of nature, the gerenuk reminds us of life, of the quiet beauty that persists in the dry and unforgiving corners of our planet. Across the wide, open fields of the Dika Plain, it's not just tree-climbing specialists like the gerenuk that roam. In this vast, sun-drenched expanse, one of the continent's enduring icons of speed also persists through the relentless dry seasons. The Thomson's gazelle, affectionately known as the Tommy. Small in size but mighty in motion, the Tommy is one of the fastest creatures in Africa. It can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, second only to the cheetah among the continent's predatory and prey species. However, the Thomson's gazelle's true advantage doesn't lie in its top speed, but in its incredible ability to change direction rapidly while running. This agility makes it a far from easy target, even for the most renowned hunters. It's not uncommon to see a Tommy suddenly spring into the air from the dry plains, all 4 legs extended, its body arched tight like a drawn bowstring. This behavior is known as pronking or stotting, a strange but highly strategic kind of leap. From a scientific perspective, this action likely serves as a visual signal to alert other members of the herd to potential danger. Unlike antelope species that stay within fixed territories, the Thomson's gazelle leads a nomadic life, following the rains and the growth of grass. They form fluid herds, sometimes just a few individuals, other times numbering in the hundreds or even thousands, especially during migration seasons. Though they often travel alongside wildebeest and plain zebra, the Thomson's gazelle follows a more selective and adaptable path, not just seeking grass, but choosing specific types of grass. Within the savanna food chain, the Thomson's gazelle serves as one of the most abundant prey sources, especially for the cheetah. Numerous studies in both the Serengeti and Tsavo have shown that cheetahs rely heavily on Thomson's gazelles as their primary food source during the dry season, when larger prey species migrate out of the area. Beneath the scorching sun of Tsavo East, a slender shadow breaks away from the low grass. A female Southeast African cheetah quietly closes in on a small herd of Thomson's gazelles. With less than 60 meters to go, a subtle flick of her ear is the final signal. Then she bursts forward. Its spine, flexible like a coiled spring, launches each stride over 7 meters long, propelling the body to nearly 96 kilometers per hour in just seconds. Tsavo's red dust erupts behind like smoke. Semi-retractable claws act like track spikes, gripping the ground and enabling sharp turns to match every sudden swerve of its prey. The long tail flicks like a rudder, keeping balance as the body cuts through dusty curves with precision. A powerful heart and 2 lungs work at full capacity beneath a broad, heaving chest. In just 20 seconds, it's all over. Either a swift bite to the neck or failure. The steep price of speed. The cheetah cannot repeat that chase right away. Though it is the fastest creature on the savanna, it gets only 1 chance per hunt. Unlike the strongly territorial big cats, the social structure of the Southeast African cheetah is notably more flexible. Females are typically solitary, roaming vast areas in search of prey and suitable birthing grounds. They do not defend strict territories, but instead require a large home range with minimal competition and abundant food sources. In contrast, males tend to form small groups, known as coalitions, usually made up of brothers or close relatives. In the wild, early childhood is the most perilous stage of life for this species. Cheetah cubs are usually born in litters of 2 to 5, blind and incredibly vulnerable. Many fall victim to predators within the first few weeks. To reduce this risk, the mother frequently relocates her cubs and leaves behind as little scent as possible. The young stay with her for 18 to 24 months, a critical window of time to learn how to stalk, hide, track, and ultimately hunt. As of 2024, according to data from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the global adult cheetah population stands at just around 6,517 individuals, with an estimated 1,160 residing in Kenya. In the Tsavo region specifically, cheetah density is estimated at only 0.74 individuals per 100 square kilometers, a stark reminder of the species' fragile status. Major threats include the loss of forest and savanna due to agricultural expansion, competition for prey from other carnivores, and the illegal trade of cheetah cubs as exotic pets. The cheetah is not just a symbol of speed, it is a powerful reminder that even nature's most elite creatures depend on a stable ecosystem to survive. Like a delicate thread, holding together the fabric of a vast ecological tapestry, the cheetah runs not only for its own life, but for the heartbeat of this entire land. Unlike the solitary cheetah of the open plains, the African wild dog is renowned for its absolute unity within the pack. Each individual sports a unique coat, patches of red, black, white, yellow, and brown forming patterns so distinct that no 2 dogs are alike, like nature's own spontaneous works of art. Their large, rounded ears are always tuned outward, acting like biological radar dishes that relay signals across hundreds of meters, forming a sensory web that stretches across the savanna. With a lean yet muscular build, long legs, and a powerful chest, the African wild dog is built for endurance hunting. Their strategy is one of persistence, chasing prey until it collapses from exhaustion. While they can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, what truly sets them apart is their ability to maintain high speed over long distances while coordinating seamlessly as a team. As one group presses close behind the prey, others cut off escape routes. If a pack member is injured, another takes its place, keeping the pressure on until the target falls from fatigue. The African wild dog boasts a hunting success rate between 60 and 90%, higher than any other large predator in Africa. Their menu mainly includes medium-sized hoofed animals or the young of larger antelope species, Once the prey is brought down, the entire pack feeds rapidly within minutes to avoid conflict with hyenas or lions. After the meal, individuals who stayed behind to care for pups, the injured, or the very young are fed through social regurgitation, a behavior where partially digested food is brought up and shared, maintained as an intrinsic code of care within the pack. Within their tightly knit social structure, only the alpha pair, usually the strongest in the pack, is responsible for breeding. After a gestation period of about 75 days, litters of up to 20 pups are born, typically in abandoned dens or other hidden sheltered locations. The entire pack participates in raising and protecting the young, with non-breeding members serving as caretakers, guides, and sentries. Yet, despite this remarkable cooperation, pup mortality remains high, often due to disease, hunger, or predation. According to the latest 2024 update from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the number of mature African wild dogs in the wild is estimated at just around 1,400 individuals, spread across a total population of roughly 6,600. In Kenya, key populations are found in areas such as Laikipia, Samburu, and Tsavo. Tsavo East National Park, once a stronghold for the species, has seen significant decline due to poaching, habitat loss, and the spread of infectious diseases. Amid the dry, red dust of the Dika Plain, a strange creature moves quietly, neither soaring through the sky nor lurking in the shadows. It is the secretary bird, with crane-like legs, a hawk-shaped head, piercing eyes, and a strong curved beak, an extraordinary blend of grace and quiet ferocity. They don't dive from the sky but hunt by walking up to 30 kilometers each day with a rhythm of 120 steps per minute and a pace of 2.5 to 3 kilometers per hour. Their legs, the longest among birds of prey, serve as powerful tools. Each strike can deliver a force 5 times their body weight, enough to crack the skull of a venomous snake in an instant. The secretary bird is well known for taking down both the African cobra and the puff adder, but its menu goes far beyond that. Insects, mice, lizards, tortoises, rabbits, nestlings, and even freshwater crabs. The name secretary bird may come from the black feathers at the back of its head, resembling the quill pens used by English clerks in the 19th century. As the only species in the Sagittariidae family, it represents an entirely distinct evolutionary branch, a living fossil standing tall in the modern savanna. Across the Dika Plain, it plays a vital role in regulating snake and rodent populations, helping to keep the food chain in balance during the long, dry season. As a symbol of alertness and strength, the secretary bird appears on the national emblems of both South Africa and Sudan. Yet, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, it is now classified as endangered due to habitat loss, wildfires, and agricultural expansion. So each time we spot the silhouette of a secretary bird under the blazing savanna sun, we witness more than just a hunt. It is a story of survival, where uniqueness becomes the foundation for enduring life. Still striding gracefully across the cracked earth with its long, elegant steps, the grey-crowned crane is a vibrant symbol of the East African savanna. It is the only species of crane able to perch in trees thanks to its long hind toe, combining elegance with a rare gift for survival. Its silvery grey plumage is crowned by a stiff, golden crest like sharpened quills, with bright white cheeks set against a dark cap, and a red throat pouch that pulses with its signature mahem call. While most crane species live and nest on the ground, the gray-crowned crane chooses the high branches of trees as its breeding grounds. It still forages on the ground around wet areas, feeding on everything from insects, frogs, and small snakes to freshwater crabs, and even rice and seeds, a flexible diet that helps this bird adapt to the harsh changes of the Deka Plain. The breeding season begins with the onset of the dry months. Delicate courtship dances, wing flapping, head bobbing, and synchronized leaps reinforce the lifelong bond between mated pairs. Nests are placed among waterlogged reeds, where each clutch of 2 to 5 eggs is incubated for a full month. Chicks leave the nest within hours, but continue to follow their parents for months, learning how to forage, a journey toward maturity shaped by devoted care. They are not only iconic birds, but also play a vital ecological role, controlling insect populations, dispersing seeds, and maintaining balance across wetland ecosystems. Yet, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the gray-crowned crane is now listed as endangered, with only around 20,000 to 50,000 individuals remaining worldwide. The main causes: loss of wetlands, illegal hunting, collisions with power lines, and agricultural pollution. Many areas like Tsavo, once ideal breeding grounds, are now quiet, no longer echoing with the return of nesting cranes. Though celebrated in native ceremonies and traditional art, that reverence alone has not been enough to save a symbol slowly fading into the past. Yet with every step, the gray-crowned crane still sings a gentle melody across the fierce savanna, a quiet testament to resilience born not only of strength, but of connection, adaptability, and a beauty all its own. Which one leaves a deeper impression on you, the elegant dance of the gray-crowned crane or the snake-stopping strike of the secretary bird? Across the parched landscapes of Tsavo East, the Galana River, Kenya's second longest river, emerges as a lifeline of green threading through the ecosystem. This river forms the lower stretch of the Athi-Galana-Sabaki system, which spans roughly 390 kilometers, flowing through the heart of the park and serving as the only year-round water source in the region. In a climate marked by extremes, with annual rainfall between 1,000 and 1,100 millimeters and temperatures often soaring above 30 degrees Celsius, the river's role becomes even more crucial. A 2024 study by the International Fund for Animal Welfare revealed a sharp increase in the presence of large mammals along the Galana during extended drought periods. Water winds through the riverine forest, embracing soft mudflats where long V-shaped tracks quietly reveal the presence of an ancient predator, the Nile crocodile. This reptile stands as a living witness to an evolutionary journey spanning over 200 million years. Its body has remained nearly unchanged since the age of dinosaurs, carrying with it features perfectly suited for survival in a harsh and untamed wilderness. With adult males averaging up to 5 meters in length and rare individuals exceeding 6 meters, the Nile crocodile is the largest freshwater reptile in Africa, second only to the saltwater crocodile in overall size. Its thick, dark, armor-like skin is reinforced by hundreds of tiny bony plates known as osteoderms, which not only serve as natural protection, but also help regulate body temperature under the blazing sun of the semi-arid landscape. Their jaws are strong and elongated, equipped with 64 to 68 cone-like teeth that are designed to grip and process rather than chew. These teeth are replaced continuously throughout their lifetime, allowing the crocodile to remain an efficient hunter for decades. Their bite can generate up to 22,000 newtons of pressure, sufficient to crack the heavy bones of large prey like the Cape buffalo. Hidden beneath thick eyelids is a transparent protective layer called the nictitating membrane, a natural pair of swimming goggles that allows them to see clearly underwater, even while lying in wait, fully submerged. It is in these rare stretches of river cutting through the drylands that the Nile crocodile waits. No chasing, no wasted energy. A master of ambush, it relies solely on a fleeting moment of carelessness from its prey to strike and seize control in an instant. Once it locks onto its target, the Nile crocodile doesn't rush. It twists its massive body underwater in a powerful death roll, a violent spin that breaks bones, dislocates joints, or drags the prey into a panic-filled descent with no way out. If the catch is too large to swallow whole, the crocodile tears it apart, using the sheer weight of its body and the slicing grip of its razor-sharp teeth. Yet in the broader ecological picture, the crocodile is not a villain, but a natural regulator. It helps maintain ecosystem balance by limiting herbivore populations, ensuring no single species overwhelms the riverbank vegetation and disrupts the natural order. Reliable data shows that Nile crocodile density along the Galana River typically increases during the dry season, when animals are forced to gather around the shrinking water sources. Moving with the herds of antelope in search of water along the river, the plain zebra appears most frequently during the dry season, from June to October. A 2025 study found that they accounted for up to 34% of all recorded sightings of large mammals within a 4-kilometer radius of the river. Those black and white stripes, each individual with a unique, unrepeatable pattern, help zebras recognize one another and disrupt a predator's vision. A 2024 study by Caro and colleagues also revealed that the stripes make it harder for horseflies and tsetse flies to land, indirectly reducing the risk of disease transmission. When green grass becomes scarce during the dry season, zebras rely on their broad teeth, strong jaws, and hindgut fermentation system to digest coarse vegetation, old grass, leaves, even bark, making them a transitional feeder between a grazer and a browser. Within the herd, a harem structure forms, led by a dominant male and composed of several females with their young, bonded through mutual grooming and a wide range of vocalizations, from high-pitched whinnies to low contact calls. They can run up to 65 kilometers per hour, not as fast as a cheetah, but with enough stamina to outlast a chase. When alarmed, zebras often flee in chaotic zigzags, making it harder for predators to lock onto a single target. Adult zebras usually take the lead in scouting danger and form a protective ring around the young, a collective defense strategy that improves survival. A zebra foal can stand within minutes and run in less than an hour after birth, a vital